Hello! Today we have the White Knight 4 review, and these reviews are going to have to change form a little bit because we're getting so far in that if you're committed, you're committed. So this will be another review style one for those who have not yet maybe decided, or people who are wanting to just watch the review because they enjoy these, touched as always. And then I'm going to start moving on to basic themes because I have less and less to talk about with these in regards to just taking you through it. It's going to be more in regards to specific themes and specific stuff I've noticed, because otherwise I'm basically just going to be telling you the whole story and I don't really want to be doing that. So let's talk cover first. Well, no. Let's talk just a quick overview first. This is definitely the best one so far. It's the most White Knight-y of the White Knights. It's got all the problems with this book are glaringly apparent, and all the strengths of it are also glaringly apparent. There's no half measures with this book, and that's what I like about it. It's quite difficult separating a lot of it before, but in this case, everything is clear as day. And all the improvements have been made, and the best part of it is the world building is over and now the characters are just doing what they do. So let's talk the cover first. The cover, we have Batman symbolically bleeding and the blood is running down into the city, and the city is there and the people of the city are there, and who are they cheering for? Jack Napier, not Batman, because he's twisting what Batman is doing into his own power trip. So I really like that. Good symbolic cover. You could tell it was a symbolic cover. Batman was not literally going to, bleed onto the stage there. So this part was really interesting. This is Commissioner Gordon and the high ops, and the mayor. I can't remember. Some very important person is telling Gordon, look, this isn't good enough, we need to arrest Napier, I don't care why. And Gordon's like, well, you told me to stamp out corruption. And this, the thing is, I have had problems with the dialogue in this. Gordon's dialogue is always on point. I don't like the dialogue in this largely, but Gordon's dialogue, and when he has it, Batman's dialogue is pretty good. But Gordon's dialogue is not good. It's brilliant. In regards to, he's got character. You can feel what he's feeling, and he's a good character. Now this is a comedy. This is where people are getting annoyed sometimes by the politics in this book, and it's not him pushing politics. It is a cautionary tale to everyone who has ever voted for anybody of how you can be manipulated by people who you don't know anything about into liking them. And in this case, we've got a Duke Thomas. Everybody loves Duke Thomas in the city. I mean, a lot of people like the character too. And he's like this sort of gangster rock star of the port area, but he's not an actual gangster. He is like the Green Hornet. He's controlling crime, and trying to he's not trying to snuff it out because he can't, but he's doing his best to contain it, if you will. And this is the thing, we've got three different approaches to crime. We've got the Joker, who is just, nothing is a crime to him. We've got Duke Thomas, who's like, no, if we can just box the crime in and just let it happen in this one area. And then you've got Batman, who's like, eradicate the crime. So Duke is loved by everyone, and Napier is despised by everyone, or most people. And so what they do is they pedal him out, they give him a big microphone, and he talks about why he likes Jack Napier. And the reasons he likes Jack Napier are actually that he just dislikes the police and Jack Napier gave him some money. That's it. Money for charity, but he gave him some money. He built a library. Okay, he gave him some money. And so we like Jack Napier now, but because everybody likes Duke, they're going to give Jack Napier the time of day. Now this is fine, that was all good. Now this speech is really fucking boring. All the Joker's speeches are really boring. And I wonder if it's an experiment gone wrong, because I feel that, yes, the speeches are extremely boring, but they always get the idea across of he's talking like a politician. He is talking us to death, basically, so that we ignore who he is because we're so bombarded by words. And I feel vindicated in that by what happens after this, not immediately after. The speech is pretty boring, but it gets across some ideas of the fears of people of Gotham, because Joker is manipulating them, and so through him we know them. And they go on a little march. He's he's a man of the people. Look, he's not even wearing a tie, and he's got his sleeves rolled up. And this is cynically shown off, like it's a performance. The Joker is a performer, and then bam, in he comes, because the police are in a standoff with the protesters, the peaceful protesters, and it's about to escalate into seemingly unavoidable violence. And then Batman comes in, he's just like, I'm taking the Joker away to stop the violence. And this is the thing. The thing I keep getting from this, and this is maybe just my personal view, but I can only give you my personal view, is that Batman is kind of too good for this story. Everybody in this is trying to bring him low and ignore him and defame him, and he's just too good for them. Like, he's and it's causing him frustration, because he's made obviously the right call here, because you're like, oh yeah, but it's a violent protest. I mean, it's a peaceful protest, and he's turning it violent. It's like, no, the protest is becoming violent anyway, and he's taking the Joker out of that. Do you really want the Joker in the middle of a riot manipulating it? Of course not. It would turn into bloody Lord of the Rings levels of violence. So Batman, he made a bad call, but it was the better than just letting it happen. However, Jack Napier pulls a blinder and allows himself to get arrested, as is his favourite trick. These news panels I have nothing to say about. They're boring. In here, the Joker, or Jack Napier, finally we get to see him for what he is, an evil, conniving git, and he still makes little jokes, which I quite like. He's still a bit of a wisecracker. They're not thigh slappers, but he still cracks wise. And this is a very familiar scene, isn't it? The Joker sitting in the chair, although this time he's not in handcuffs, and they are all standing around him, interrogating him effectively. And then he has got something they want, and he's revealing that, which is the keys to the city, effectively. And we see, obviously, the lighting in this panel is symbolic. He's looking more very in line with the first issue where he appears as Joker. And I like the symbolic thing here of the steam of the coffee is covering him up. This masks his true intentions and all that. So that's brilliant. Now, this, again, I've not much to say about. It's kind of just... It's fan service for people who ship Joker and Harley. It's nothing much more than that. It's fun if you like that. I don't care, so I will move on. If you like that, you will like those panels. Strategic nipple coverage. And then Neo Joker becomes really interesting in this, because you think, oh, she just wants back her Mr. J. Actually, it's a little bit more complex than that. That is what she wants. But she is completely aware of the fact that she's been abused by the man, that he's actually a persona and not a real person, and she still doesn't care. And her plan is quite ingenious. It's basically, she knows that if she becomes the Joker won't be able to stand it. The real Joker won't be able to stand somebody taking his primacy as the clown prince, and he will return to destroy her and take back his mantle. And I thought that was very, very fucking clever. And it salvaged the character for me, because I thought she was going to be a yawn fest, and in fact she is not only the fly in the ointment, but she is also now, I find not her motivation but her methodology extremely interesting. So she goes to attack Jack Napier with all the super criminals. Sorry, not attack Napier, attack the GCPD, because they need into the database. I think she's trying to find out as much as she can about Napier. I can't quite remember. And then this is what I really wanted to talk about. These action scenes. Murphy has finally really embraced drawing Batman. None of these static poses, and that's very symbolic. This is starting to become Batman's story now. He said initially that he wanted it to be called Joker White Knight, but that Batman White Knight seemed more appropriate, but that Batman didn't really do anything for the first few issues, and that is true. But that's true of all of them. Like I say, that this is, the world building is finished, and this is finally the characters doing what they do, and they're doing it well. Like the Joker is being a conniving liar and controlling the city and thwarting Batman at every turn as we want him to, and Batman is Batmaning at every turn like we want him to. So this is a beautiful scene. They crash through the skylight. Gotham seems to have an inordinate number of skylights. They crash through the skylight, and signature move, Batman crushes Killer Croc, and I love the way the rhythm of this panel goes, because you've got the downward motion as they all land, and Batman is landing, she's landed, and he's landed and struck. And then you've got Neo Joker has just knocked out somebody. So it's just like this sort of introduction and then opening, intro, climax, crescendo kind of thing. Like I've used the wrong words, but you see it's just like dunt 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 dunt, and then it stops here, and then we read the panel. Like, because that's a setup. That is her starting to strike a blow. That is him striking a blow, and that's her finished striking a blow. So it's like the 1, 2, 3, 4 is very apparent, and then it drags the eye round, and then we get a little bit of stop destroying everything. This is cool as well. He does the same thing. This man knows how to write action sequences. We have, and I mean, these are drawn beautifully. I really want an artist's edition of this book, because he gives a lot of real estate to, Joker's face, right? But he doesn't really give all that much real estate to look at this tiny little Batman. And look how well drawn it is, but it's tiny, and I really want to see that larger. But I understand, if you're just doing somebody's face and you've got speech bubbles to fit in, that's understandable. You're going to do the larger panel, that's fair enough. But I need to see big versions of these pictures. So Bane throwing the bat signal, symbolically obviously, because the bat signal is being removed from the roof of the GCPD, and Batman is being kicked out by Gordon. And as we see is the flow of the movement, so he picks it up and he throws it, and the direction of travel is also the direction we read it in. And then we get this great falling scene. He had to, I think he had to keep it simple and not do this part down the way, or that would have confused the reader. But it's a great little scene, and obviously advanced body armor and all that. He survives. There's, I think, a convenient car beneath them. I think he puts things like the skylight in the car in there as not quite jokes, but they're little. It's quintessential Batman that these things are always around, And like, look at Batman. We've got rid of all these static poses now, and he's always dynamic, and that's symbolic. I think Batman is in action now, and obviously Sean Murphy is now becoming more comfortable drawing as well as the series goes on. But this as well. This is my favourite panel of the whole thing. I don't know. I just love the way Batman's standing. I love the color. The lighting is beautiful. The symbolism of it, and I'll buy you a new one. It's a good little line, and this is a great panel. You can see I won't really I'll try. I can't try and hide the dialogue, but if you don't want to read it, don't read it. But look at the lighting, just the atmosphere of this. I feel like it's, particularly this lamp, it's radiating off the page, and the lighting in this is very warm, and I feel that fits Gordon. Although they're having an argument and all that, it fits Gordon very well. And then these are very old-looking lamps, which I know they were going for the aesthetic of, like, this could be any time, But and I know it goes with that aesthetic. But I feel that this is also a case of these lamps are old, and these guys' method of working is dated. It's old. It doesn't fit the 21st century, and Joker is exploiting that, and that's where the tension of the story comes from, because this is not a postmodernist Batman. This is a Batman who people would not stand for it now. They would not stand for it. no matter how much good he did, because people are jealous and people are scared and people like accountability, even if they don't push for it all that hard sometimes. And people are also easily manipulated, and for all those reasons, nobody would stand for a Batman now. And so he's got to now adapt. He's got to work around that. He's got to find a new way of working. And this is the thing: will the Joker push Batman into killing him? If he turns the whole city into his personal playground and Batman legally can't operate, will Batman just kill him and retire? It's not a prediction. I just mean that's on the table, because Batman is losing allies and Joker is turning his allies against him. So here we see the reunion of Neo Joker, and he's explaining to her that the whole thing is an illusion and a mirage, and she's in love with a ghost kind of thing, and she basically doesn't care. She's going to bring the Joker out and she's going to make him love her again. We still don't know how sincere Napier is, because the thing is, right, she's saying she's going to challenge Joker's supremacy in the city, and he, as Napier, is saying, no, I already own the city. Now, is he speaking as Napier or is he speaking as Joker? Because this is just Joker without the makeup, isn't it? Really? Like, think about it. He's trying for supremacy over the city, and she's saying that she'll take that away from him, and the one time that he gets riled in the conversation is that. Not when she threatens the other Harley, nothing like that. It's when she threatens to take away his mantle. And he challenges her and says, no, I've already got the mantle. So that's interesting. And then this is him just kind of trying to play mind games with the sidekicks. I don't want to go too much into that, because it's really quite interesting. It's not super interesting, but it's very wordy. We get a little origin for Neo Joker. I think that this origin story of she's a self-harming person who gets caught up in she's trying to live, she's trying to not be killed by the Joker during a bank robbery, and then she kind of just falls into the persona by accident almost. And that personality type, I'm sorry, but that personality type just seems to fit modern Harley so well. If you look at a lot of the newer people who are like, oh my god, she's the best, it's like, yeah, I don't think you really understand this character. Like, this is not somebody you should like. So anyway, they find out what we were told about Herr Freeze in the earlier issues, and this is now open information, and it's discovered that the Waynes are involved. And we knew that already, but we didn't know that they would find that out. And we certainly don't know how it's going to turn out. Also, look at Thomas and Martha. How awesome do they look? They just look fantastic. So yeah, this is a bit more of an analysis. I'm trying to make these more analysis heavies and less play-by-plays. I've skipped good chunks of this, so you can still go and read this and get stuff that I've not touched on. I'm going to try and make the videos more like that. I don't want them to be just story time. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope these videos have dropped a little in feedback. I don't know what, not feedback, in views. I don't know whether that's because people are kind of either committed or turned off to the series by now. But if you could let me know below, what I can do to make these more interesting, because I will continue to do these reviews, and I want to make them more analysis based than, here's what happens. Particularly as the series goes on, because like I say, it's issue 4 now. You're fucking committed if you're committed, and I don't want to be Comics Explained and basically be an option for people who don't want to buy the work to just come to the channel and read it vicariously. So please leave me some feedback. What did you like? Did you agree with my analysis? Did you agree with my conclusions? Did you enjoy the video? What can I do better? And did you enjoy the comic? And will you continue to enjoy the comic? Thank you very much, and goodbye.